Larian Studios loves to hide Easter eggs in their games, and Baldur's Gate 3 is no exception. CEO Swen Vincke revealed in an interview that the Divinity Original Sin 2 team put in references to Baldur's Gate 3 before it was announced. The fun continued as one of the BG3 writers put a reference to their next game, possibly related to the upcoming Divinity entry. Since this interview, fans have combed over both games with a keen eye to identify these Easter eggs. Though some references in Baldur's Gate 3, like Tav's mortal fear of krakens, or a book on death and divinity, are likely just fantasy world coincidences, there are more direct connections to the Divinity series in the game. Let's take a look at all Divinity Easter eggs in Baldur's Gate 3. Fair warning, some spoilers ahead.
But that could change in an instant. You need help. Serious help.
As a note for these first Easter eggs, the Divinity Original Sin 2 character portraits, origin character weapons and armor, and Bard Songs of Rivellon are only available with the Digital Deluxe DLC. Everything else on this list is available on all editions of Baldur's Gate 3. Divinity Original Sin 2 has 6 origin characters. We have Beast, an exiled sailor who is on a mission to take down his cousin, the Queen, and end her tyrannical reign. Fane, the sole undead survivor of a forgotten civilization who is seeking answers about what happened to his people. Ifan, a mercenary who formerly pledged allegiance to Lucian the Divine and now seeks revenge by hunting Lucian's son. Lohse, a bard trapped with a dark voice inside her head that sometimes controls her actions in very violent ways. Dirges know this struggle all too well. Sebille, an escaped slave marked by a living scar that was used to shape her thoughts. She also eats body parts to access memories of the deceased. And Red Prince, an exiled noble who is on the run from assassins after falling from grace. His primary goal is to reclaim his throne to become the next emperor. Each of these heroes has a dedicated portrait that can be found in Act 1 of Baldur's Gate 3. Beast's portrait is located in the Underdark's Arcane Tower. From the Underdark Beach waypoint, look east for rope netting to climb. Head southeast to follow the path up an incline and jump across the gap. Turn right, avoiding the explosive mushrooms, and head up the stairs. Watch out for deadly arcane turrets as you make your way to the tower. You'll need to first activate the generator to use the arcane elevator. Parkour down the Underdark flora on the south side of the tower. Grab a Sucer bloom near the courtyard tree, and put it in the generator to power the elevator. This will also deactivate those pesky turrets to make navigating the tower much easier. Go up the stairs to use the elevator. Ascend 3 times to the bedroom, and above the bed, find the portrait of Marcus Miles, also known as Beast. Fane's portrait is located in the Overgrown Ruins Chapel Refectory. There are multiple ways to find this room, but I'd recommend starting at the Roadside Cliffs waypoint, sneaking up on unsuspecting enemies outside the chapel, then forcing your way into the chapel entrance. There will either be a lone guard or a trap immediately inside, but it'll be fairly easy to pop in, grab what you need, then leave without much combat. Fane is proudly hanging on the south wall in the dining area. Ifan's portrait is located in the Blighted Village. Southwest of the well, there are 3 ogres convening in an abandoned building. But don't worry, you won't need to interact with them to find this Easter egg. Climb the ladder on the side of this building to get to the roof, and head to the windowed room on the other side to find the portrait. Lohse's portrait is located in the Emerald Grove Druid's Chamber. Behind the table where Nettie is healing the bird, you'll find a portrait of Lohse propped up next to a statue. Fair warning, I had trouble looting this portrait on an old save file because the item was clipped into the stone surface, so I couldn't actually reach it, even when I stacked boxes to get closer. But when I loaded up the game on a new save file, it was in the right position. Sebille's portrait is located in the Putrid Bog Gnarled Tea House. If you met Auntie Ethel in the Druid Grove, she probably invited you over to her house to help rid you of the Mind Flayer Parasite. Of course, she's a lying hag, but her house holds the hardest to spot DOS 2 portrait. Head to the southwest area of the wilderness map to find Auntie Ethel's lair. To the right of her fireplace, a portrait of Sebille is well hidden behind the tangled vines on the wall. If you have trouble finding it, hold down Left Alt on PC, or long press A on Xbox, or the cross button on PS5 to highlight items in the area. Red Prince's portrait is located inside Joaquin's Rest in the northwest part of the wilderness map. You'll need to access a southeastern room on the second floor to find it. As you approach the burning building for the first time, break your way into the main entrance and head straight to the staircase in the back. Follow the hallway around to the east rooms, clearing any rebel in your way. Turn south and lockpick the oak door. Or just have Lae'zel break it down. Follow the breezeway to the room with a portrait of the noble lizard. There are 5 Divinity Original Sin 2 themed items in the Digital Deluxe DLC that you can pick up at the start of your adventures in the wilderness. After landing on the beach, simply head to camp and access your Traveler's Chest. Inside the chest is Mask of the Shapeshifter, along with a peculiar clothing chest that contains the Cape of the Red Prince, Lute of the Merryweather Bard, Bicorn of the Sea Beast, and Needle of the Outlaw Rogue. The Red Prince and Beast clothing items are purely cosmetic. Sebille's needle is a fun dagger to wield during early battles, but you'll get better weapons along the way. Though specially named, Lohse's lute works like any other instrument in the game. However, Fane's Mask of the Shapeshifter is one of the most useful items for deception. Similar to its function in DOS 2, this mask allows you to change your appearance. Because this is D&D, that means casting Disguise Self at will and using it to your advantage when you don't want to be recognized, or as a way to turn yourself into a halfling to crawl into small spaces. I know what you're thinking. What about Ifan? Only 5 of the 6 origin characters have a special item, but there is a wolf named Silver in the Druid's Grove if you want to pretend the Silver Claw is with you in the Forgotten Realms.
Silence. Your help is not required. Not by me, at least.
The Digital Deluxe Edition has 3 special songs from the world of Rivellon. Sing For Me, also known as Lohse's theme, The Queen's High Seas, which is Beast's theme, and of Divinity and Sin, the main theme from Divinity Original Sin 2. Just know that if you're not proficient with musical instruments, your performance will not be pleasant to listen to. There's one missable Divinity Easter egg in Act 3 when you visit Rivington. This dialogue option is only visible if you sneak into the requisitioned barn first, then get caught by one of the Flaming Fist, who will escort you to Manip Nestor at the front door. If you walked up to the barn without sneaking, Nestor would have stopped you and you could attempt to persuade or bribe him for access. However, getting caught inside without permission has a deception roll option where you explain that you're searching for your client's prize pig, Lulabelle. This is a reference to Mikael Ross's pig of the same name in Divinity Original Sin 2. On a successful roll, Nestor will let you in. Luckily, there is a pig in the barn, so it's not that implausible of a lie. But this pig is not as high maintenance as Lulabelle.
The servant returns. What say you, Pin?
The biggest reference to Divinity Original Sin 2 is Tarquin the Necromancer, who studied teleport pyramids and other powerful magic.
Necromancy is an unsavory practice.
You first meet him in Dallas's stateroom on the ship, and if you decide to keep him alive, there's a series of interactions and quests he gives you throughout DOS 2. Though you cannot directly interact with Tarquin in Baldur's Gate 3, there is evidence of his presence in Faerun. The clues start with Lenore DeHurst. As a cleric of Mystra, Lenore DeHurst lived in the Arcane Tower with her partner Yer. Here, she studied magical properties of the Sucer Tree flowers in the Underdark and wrote a book detailing her research findings that you can find near the generator on the lower floor. You'll find glimpses of Lenore's life from other texts in the tower, including a diary entry that says she is headed to Baldur's Gate for a conference with other clerics of Mystra. As evidenced by the abandoned tower, Lenore never returned back to the Underdark to finish her research. When you get to Baldur's Gate in Act 3, there is a key correspondence in the Sourcerous Vault that explains Lenore's disappearance. To find it, take a portal in Sorcerous Sundries to Ramazith's tower. Jump down the floating furniture and activate the southeastern weave button. Proceed south through 3 doorways, then face west to enter a hidden library behind the stone wall. On the table is a query from DeHurst, which describes a fellow whose name had a T and a Q. Lenore misremembers it as Tuqueen, but this is likely Tarquin causing an anomaly that temporarily trapped her in a liminal space. This isn't the only evidence of Tarquin's activity in Baldur's Gate. In the House of Grief, there is a client list behind the front desk that includes Marco Crean, noted as a possible fake name. Marco's entry matches a description of Tarquin, a curious sort, having black hair and a pale complexion, and not being local due to his accent and unknown gold currency. The notes talk about his obsession with the sword and end with an update that he seemed to vanish completely from Baldur's Gate. In DOS 2, Tarquin was obsessed with a sword called Anathema. His epilogue also stated that he wanted to explore other planes of existence and vanished from Rivellon, so it would work for Tarquin story-wise to pass through Faerun and quickly move on to another world. Plus, Marco Crean is an anagram for Necromancer, making this a perfect Easter egg for Divinity fans. Now, if you're replaying Divinity Original Sin 2 or checking it out for the first time, there are a few Baldur's Gate 3 references to look out for. Larian games are pretty expansive worlds, so there certainly could be more to find. Let us know in the comments if there are any missing from this list. Though personally, I don't really count the 3 brothers of Baldur in the Brachus Rex Tower well. The name is close to Baldur, but it seems like another fantasy name to me. Going back to Tarquin's presence in both worlds, there is a line he has at the end of Divinity Original Sin 2 that mentions Gustavchen, a written language that comes from a mysterious mind-feeding race from another world. Gustavchen is a reference to Project Gustav, the internal project name of Baldur's Gate 3 during development. Gustav is named after CEO Swen Vincke's dog. The suffix chen marks a German diminutive, typically used as a form of endearment and affection to make something sound cute. Baldur's Gate 3 was hiding in plain sight with a destination for Tarquin's next travels. After meeting Tarquin for the first time in Dallas's stateroom, you can discover a hidden hatch that contains his notes and a workspace with a jar of mind maggots, which resemble the tadpole parasites we see in Baldur's Gate 3. Mind maggots are common items scattered around DOS 2 and can be used in recipes like a grenade that charms everyone in an 8-meter radius. A more active parallel with the tadpole parasite can be found in A Danger to Herself and Others side quest. Find Gregorius Swan outside of a home in Reaper's Coast, northeast of Stone Garden Graveyard. Approach him with a scholar character like Fane to easily gain access to the cellar where a young woman named Natalie is in his care. You'll notice a wound that suggests someone opened and put something in her head. Weaken her in combat without being lethal, and ask Swan to keep her steady as you perform an operation. As long as you are delicate and slow in your actions, you'll be successful in extracting the maggot. This scene is similar to your many tadpole removal attempts in Baldur's Gate 3, most of all, Volo's surgery in camp. However, the failure condition is cooler in BG3 and gives you a useful benefit.
Take this. A far superior relic to that old jelly you were chained to.
You can meet 4 sisters of the Sorcerous Sundries Trading Company, which shares the same name with a slight spelling difference as the Lower City Magic Shop in Baldur's Gate. Larian added free updates and expansions to Divinity Original Sin 2 in the form of gift bag features, which operate as mods. As with most mods, trophies and achievements will be disabled with the gift bag features activated. From the main menu, select Gift Bag Features and scroll down to toggle on Sourcerous Sundries. In each major area, you'll find a vendor who sells unique items that can upgrade gear to your current level. This is good if you want to keep a specific item and have its damage scale to match your level, rather than tossing it. The grand design is not the sole trademark of Enver Gortash, it's also the guiding plan of the White Magisters in DOS 2. In Arcs, you'll get a quest called The Last Stand of the Magisters. As you explore the barracks and Magister Vault, find Magister Raymond's journal, either on his corpse or on the table that was guarded by 3 Geist. He refers to the Grand Design over and over. Just like the ambitious Mind Flayer plan to take over the world, the White Magisters feel a duty to carry out an imposing plan to just inconvenience everyone. Those are all the Divinity references I could find in Baldur's Gate 3, but if you found one that's not on this list, sound off in the comments. Also, let us know what you think Sven is referring to as a possible hint to Larian's next game. For more Baldur's Gate 3 guides, check out our wiki on IGN.com, and for everything else video games, keep it here on IGN.